That's the thing about being alone. It's not that you feel like you don't have anybody. It's like you feel like nobody has you. And man, and I know especially when we're young, we can't even put it into words, but we can feel that. And I remember a lot as a child feeling that way. Just feeling like nobody has me.
Don't escape, endure. I feel like a lot of people run when it gets hard. A lot of people run when they're faced with problems. But if you run, you'll never stop. If you always run from your problems, one day you're gonna get tired and they're gonna catch up to you. You have to face your problems. You have to endure whatever you're going through. I feel like God won't put something in front of you that you can't handle. You're just being tested. You always want these opportunities. You're always asking, why isn't this opportunity coming forward? Why am I not placed in those rooms? But the things that were put in front of you, you couldn't handle. The things that you were being tested on, you ran. You didn't face it. You didn't endure those problems. You have to face them head on. And you have to understand that you wouldn't be going through something if you couldn't handle it. So instead of running from your problems, endure them. You don't ever get better. You don't ever improve as a person if you're always running. You're always going to stay the same. If whenever a problem happens, you hide, you run, you avoid it at all costs. But if you face it, if you challenge yourself, that's how you grow. You only grow through challenge. You only grow through tribulations. So instead of running from it, instead of asking, why me? Why am I going through this? You have to say, this is happening for me, not this is happening to me, but for me. So understand that problems are put in front of you to test you. Problems are put in front of you to prepare you for that next season of your life, that next chapter that you always knew that you could go through. You always knew that you were meant for, and you're always asking, why isn't it happening sooner? But whenever the test happens, whenever those problems that you should be enduring, you're escaping. That's why the opportunity isn't happening to you. Because whenever the test happens, you always fail. You have to endure. People love their houses and shelters because whatever happens, it stands there. If it rains, it's not gonna run. If it snows, it's gonna stay there. A house would be no good if it didn't stand its ground, if it didn't endure all the weather. So it's the same for you. Why would you run from your problems? Problems won't solve themselves, and if you come back to wherever that problem happened, it's still going to be there. So it's rather you stay and you face the problem now, or you run and that problem could get worse. It's like if there's a fire and you choose to run from it instead of putting it out when you know you can, even if sometimes you believe that you can't. If you run, the fire is just going to get bigger. if you run, it's going to be a lot harder to deal with when you get back. That fire is going to catch up to you one day. And if you don't face it when it happens, if you don't face your problems now, there's no guarantee that you'll be able to face it later. And you won't be faced with a problem without a solution, because there's no problem without solution. There's no night without day, no evil without good. So just know that if you're being faced with a problem, there's always a solution, and you don't have to face everything alone. You may think that there's nobody else with you, there's nobody else who knows what you're going through, but chances are there are a lot of people who know and understand similar things. They may not have been through the exact same thing, but they can still help. They can still be there for when you need. When you fall, they can be there to pick you up. But you have to understand that people can't solve problems for you. They can open the door, but you have to walk through it. You have to actively understand that this is my problem, not yours. So I have to deal with it. So face your problems, endure, don't escape. So I hope everyone's doing well. I'll see you in the next one.